Hello, our reflection for today comes courtesy of Ruth Coward. Ruth is a member at All Saints Methodist Church in Abingdon and one of our local preachers. Thank you, Ruth. Ruth writes, "There are virginal splashes of white in the garden. It is the bride shrub ruthlessly moved last year from one part of the garden to another. But it is spring, and it is flowering. The delicate splashes of yellow from the daffodils and forsythia bush wave in the breeze. The tulips slowly push through the soil until they are erect. Yes, all around, signs of spring are here, signs of God's presence and the beautiful world he has made. The birds are singing, many of them the beautiful rippling cadences we associate with spring. The busy little hedge sparrows flit and squabble in the hedge. Yes, spring is here, and all around us we experience the stirrings of joy and thanksgiving in our hearts. But no, the busy road in front of our gates is empty. There are no noisy children passing on the way to and from school. What is wrong? Beyond the firmly closed gate strides an unseen enemy, an invisible killer, a death bringer we do not understand. The beautiful garden, again reassuring us of God's creativity and love, holds back an unseen horror. Will our barred gates and high fences keep us safe? But no, 2,000 years ago, God acted in an invisible way, in a creative way of love. He sent his Son, a Son who hung on a cross, a Son who suffered unbelievable pain and horror, a Son who, by his death, left a terrified and bewildered band, but a Son who 3 days later defeated death and fear. A Son who is here today, right here in the middle, the epicenter of our present bewilderment and fear. A Son, Jesus, who is here in our darkest hour. A Jesus who is here bringing comfort to the elderly man alone in the silent flat. Jesus who is with the doctors in a crowded ward, helping patients fighting to inhale the very air around them. A Jesus in the crowded refugee camps in Syria, where the people wait in fear for the arrival of the virus and certain death. A Jesus with the weary doctor playing the piano at the end of his shift to soothe and calm the patients and colleagues. He is there beside the priest, sprinkling holy water over the rows of coffins in the empty church. He is there with the woman dying alone, without her beloved family, in the chaos and panic of a crowded ward. He sits by the exhausted delivery truck driver, anxious to take supplies for empty supermarket shelves. Jesus is with the stressed young pharmacist, desperately trying to find the correct drugs for the anxious mother standing there. Yes, the suffering Jesus walks in the gardens full of breathtaking beauty, gardens full of the promise of spring, but he moves through our suffering, painful, bewildered and terrified world. He is there. He is there. He is there at the very heart of our suffering and fear. He is there. And may we know that to be true for ourselves. Amen.